Alright everyone, welcome back for another video on Legend of Mushroom, in which one I'm gonna show you the build I'm currently running in PvP with my Mage class. In fact, you can use that build with both the Darklord and the Prophet. You are gonna have some differences. I'm gonna try to show that to you in that video. So, first of all, let me talk about the class I'm using, then I'm gonna show you the build, and finally, I am gonna show you some fights in PvP. So, let's first talk about the class. Here, this is the Prophet class, and you have some differences between the Prophet and the Darklord. Both have some advantages, pros and cons versus other classes. So here, with the skill, you deal some AoE damage, and you reduce the skill damage resistance of the target within the range by 20% for 8 seconds. Both Mage classes have the same here. But then, with the Prophet, you are going to break directly the shield of the target with all your basic attacks within 10 seconds. And this is insane! Versus tanky players, basically, basic attacks are destroying the shield, so you can deal directly damage to them with your skills. This is just very, very strong. Then both the Mage class have the same first skills here, so 15% more skill crit and 12% more attack. The attack is very important on the class, we are gonna talk about that later. Here, the difference starts here between the two Mage classes. Active skill energy regen plus 20%, so with the Prophet you are gonna recover your cooldowns faster with your skills. Then here, you are gonna prolong the active skills duration, excluding the Blitz Assault, otherwise it would be too strong, by 40% and boost your damage by 10%. And this is very, very strong. So if you deal some damage on a time on the target, you are gonna have more duration and more damage. This is cool. And finally, with the last one, you want to play with some stun, because every time you're gonna trigger a stun on the target, you are gonna reduce by 0.3 seconds the cooldown of all your active skills, which is very, very, very nice. So in comparison, if I go to the other Mage class, here with the main skill, instead of breaking the shields with basic attacks, you are gonna boost your skill crit damage by 50% for 10 seconds, which is very, very nice. And here, instead of the cooldown reduction on skills, you are gonna have 50% more skill crit damage. So in total, you have 100% more skill crit damage with that passive and the skill here during 10 seconds, which is pretty nice. So here you have 20% extra damage on skills that can ignore the damage immunity of the target. This is cool, but not broken. I mean by that, if you are facing a Plume Monarch, for example, if you can't pre-blitz the Plume Monarch, the damage through the Blitz Assaults of the target are not gonna be enough to kill him in time. I mean, if he is using the cheetah mount, you are gonna proc the effect of the cheetah mount, and generally, if you kill the target through the Blitz Assault thanks to that, you are gonna die, because you will still have 1 second to wait before ending the fight on the cheat amount. And finally, on the last passive, skill damage scales with HP loss. For every 10% HP loss, skill damage plus 3%. It's not making any difference at all. And you know, I tried using that with the red spore on the relics here, but unfortunately it wasn't working. I think that it's not working directly at the start of the fight, so you can't take advantage of that for the pre-blitz damage. I don't know what to think about that. Maybe on a long fight it's changing, I don't know. So in my case, in my opinion, I think that the Prophet class is a bit better versus tanky players, because you get your cooldowns on skills faster, and on the long fights you're going to release more damage and break the shields directly, so you can deal all your damage directly on the target, and this is changing a lot of things. But you know, during that video I'm going to show you the two classes in PvP after the detail of the build, because I'm using the same build with the two classes, so you will see the difference, right? Okay, it's time to go through the build, and for that I prepared an Excel sheet as always. So this is the entire build. You can find that sheet directly on my Discord, or you can take a picture of that if you want. You will have all the details. So you have the gear I'm using with the affixes, so skill crit and stun on all my pieces of gear. In fact, the stun and the skill crit are so important on that build. I'm gonna go through that, you know, directly in game. So if you want to take a picture of that, you can take it. So you're gonna have the support, and get it directly if you want to have the entire build. You know what I mean. So let's go back in game and let's comment the build. So here, I already talked about the gear. I'm lacking some DPS on both that piece of gear, which is only level 156, and the boots level 151, so I could get way more base stats. I'm working on that, but I can't get lucky on that, so it can be better. For the skills, you want to use, I'm going to show that to you directly in that section. This is going to be more important. You want to use first the star array. Apparently the order does matter, so use that in the first position. So you are going to deal some damage and boost your skill crit rate and skill crit damage. So all your skills are going to crit and deal more damage. Normally, it's supposed to work like that. Second, very important information here, you want to increase the level of your skills, because the higher the level, the more the damage you're going to release with your skills. This is very, very important. I didn't know that before. Then someone came to me and told me about that. So I am buying the shards here in the family brawl to upgrade this one. And I'm doing the same for the 100 slashes in the crossover showdown event. So this one first, then this one, because the more the HP you have, the more the attack increase you are gonna get, and this is very, very high. The best skill to boost your attack, better than the tornado, way better than that, and you get also some basic attack damage resistance, so on tanky players, this is pretty cool. Then you want to use the Meteor Fall, so you will deal some more damage and increase your final skill damage by 20% for 5 seconds. Another great skill to use. Then use the Betty Trace. You are going to release 5 times that amount of damage on the target, so you are going to release a ton of damage, close to 10,000%, and you know, this is working so well with that avian here, the pumpkin, and with that relic here to boost the Betty Trace damage. This is very nice. And finally, of course, you want to use the Bliss Assault, otherwise you would die directly at the start of the fight, so very important to use that. Okay, for the skills, let's jump on the pals. You want the best pal to take for any mage class is the cat. You are going to release some insane amount of damage bonus when you are using the cat here with every single skill. So use the red cat first. Then you want to use, of course, the treasure dragon to increase your skill crit rate by 20%. This is a very important one to use. Then the hydro sprite for long fights, so you're going to recover your cooldowns faster. You want to use the fox pal here, the alpine fox, to increase your stun duration on the target and deal some more damage on them when they are stunned by reducing the damage resistance. Very important too. And for the pre-blitz, you want to increase a bit your attack speed, so the hero bird here, or whichever the pal it is, to increase your attack speed. I know that on the sea server the pal is different, it's a kind of sprite, here is different, we don't have the same. On C server, this one is increasing the attack speed, so use that instead. So these are the pals I am using. So now let's jump on the relics. These are the ones I'm using at the moment. So the Demon's Mask to increase your skill crit rate by 5%. That's very important. This one to deal some more damage every time you cast some skills. For the books, you want to increase your attack first. Very important, so use this one. Then for the necklace, I'm using this one because this is the only one doing anything for something for me. Even though the damage increase, the extra damage are gonna be terrible. The others, I'm not using any clone, I'm not using the skills here or the skills required for the other necklaces, so this one is the only solution. Then for the relic here, the energy statue to increase the damage dealt by Betty Trace, natural renewal if you want to use it, and shroom shield. Very, very nice one. And finally, here I'm using the magic box to increase the damage coming from the cat. Okay, and at the middle, I'm using the potent spore to increase the effect of the other relics I equipped. Okay, for that, then let's jump on the talents, I guess. First of all, so I'm gonna be very, very short on that. So if you are starting the game, on your talents, the first thing you want to take is the attack. Okay, you want to increase your attack everywhere you can. You don't care about the defense or the HP or the resistances. This is why that build is one of the most accessible early game, because everything that matters is your damage. Okay, so first, increase your attack everywhere you can, and you don't care about the wound. You can put that points in here later, and the crit resistance, same command later. So on the sorcery, you want first to go on the right, so you can take the attack here, and you can take the active skill energy regen. Very important to take the skill damage 2 here on the right, and on the left, you want to take the skill crit damage here and the extra skill damage there as well. So these are the important things, okay? The skill damage, skill crit damage, and the attack on the sorcery tab, and you want to get this one first. So you get some more attack every time you cast some skills. Once you have that, you can go at the top and take the stun. So you will have more chance to apply to do the pre-blitz damage on the target, okay? Then on the Fury, you want to go on the left to take this one if you want. So during a long fight, you're gonna have more attack speed, so more stun, and on a very long fight, you're gonna have some more attack as well. So you can take advantage of that on the long fight. Then you want to take the attack, of course, and you can increase your other stats. This one can be important for PvP if you want to ignore some combo and stay alive longer. You have it on both sides, but this is more of an in-game thing, okay? So then you don't really care about the other things. Crit resistance to resist the damage coming from the Plume Monarchs, and on the archery you want to take this one for your base attack speed. For the pre-blitz only, it's not mandatory, but it helps. And then on the Tame Beast, you want to take, you can go at the top as I did to get some resistances and get the wound here. So people in front, tanky builds are not going to regen as before. So basically, if you want me to do a resume, increase first your attack, skill damage, and skill crit damage on the sorcery tab, take the one on the left here, then increase your base attack speed here, then your attack absolutely everywhere, and once you're done with that, it's time to increase your resistances here on the sorcery tab at the top, and on the Tame Beast and on the Fury, you want to take some damage, some crit resistances here, and the wound on the sorcery on the left and on the Tame Beast on the right. Then on the enchants, as you can see, I'm not even done with my enchants here. I am using a broken set. The main thing to use is a double skill set. So this is the one you are going to have some more global skill damage. This is very important. On the rune number 4, you want to have skill damage on the main stats. On the rune number 5, you want to have some counter or combo damage. It doesn't really matter. On the rune number 6, you want to have a first... it depends on what you want to do. I would recommend to go for a skill damage resistance first, or crit resistance. It depends where you are in game, it doesn't really matter, but skill damage resistance first. This is what I am aiming for, but for now I don't have it, so this is what I'm using. So double skill sets with one crit resistance, this is my goal. For now I don't have it, and as I said, skill damage resistance, combo damage resistance, and skill here as main stat. And then on the substats, you want to focus on the stun first, and then the skill crit damage. I have none here, I got some here, very important. I don't have any here, I have some stun only. I got some skill crit damage here, but I'm lacking some stun, so I could have better. Here I have both, so this one is pretty cool, and here I have a very nice amount of stun. Almost full proc on stuns. Only one proc here on healing amount, because I had only 3 affixes before, but this is what I'm using at the moment. So then for the souls, this is what I'm using at the moment. I have most of my stats and balanced it between my skill crit damage here on that immortal soul, on the global attack on this one, and on this one for the skill damage, okay? It doesn't really matter on the souls, you can balance the stats here, you are gonna have almost the same damage. Trust me, I tried the 3 of them and I had all the time the same result. Then I tried to increase my HP here, because in defense it's pretty interesting to use that to have some regen, use more tanky build in PvP in defense. So the Plume Monarchs can't one-shot you. This is a bit different, I'm still working on that. I don't think that this is very important here at the moment. Crit resistance and defense. But if you don't care about your defense, then put everything you have into these 3 at the top, you are gonna have more damage. And one more time, the Mage class is the more accessible, because here on the affixes, you don't care about what you have. Like, you don't have any skill damage increase on the affixes. Like, if you are playing a Plume Monarch, you have combo. If you are playing a warrior, you have some counter damage. Here you just have some resistances, and that's all. Okay, and then for the scrolls, these are the ones I'm using. I tried to put some points into skill crit damage here, but I noticed that I had way less damage than if I was using some in the skill damage only and attack here. So these are the main ones. You want to balance them, you will have the same result with both. You want to put some in the skill crit damage and the other stats to be at least a bit more tanky. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the items. Oh, prayer statue, I forgot to talk about that. So at the prayer statue, full global attack only. And the higher the coefficient, the better, of course. Skill damage is worse than the global attack, okay? So go for global attack only. So then for the other things, these are the best thing you can use. Basically, the mount, this is a free mount. And with this one, you're going to have a 10% more skill crit rate and 20% more attack every time you release a crit with a skill. This is for real the best mount to use with that class. If you want to be a bit more tanky, you can use this one. You are going to have some final skill crit damage and a bit more attack, so you can still release a pretty nice amount of damage, and you will negate a lot of the damage taken, so this is another great choice. Otherwise, you can use the panda mount. Enemies won't be able to control you, which means that you will release your skills whenever you want, and you can stun the target more often. You'll get your cooldowns faster if you're using this one. It's up to you if you want to use the panda instead. But this one, I'm definitely recommending to use this one first. For the artifacts, you have multiple choices. You have the candelabrum for the extra attack, or you have the Demeter cycle here. In my opinion, it might be better than the other stuff I'm using, but I don't have it unfortunately. On a tanky player, you are going to increase the damage you release, and you can still have the 10% attack increase, so very nice. Here, attack increase 10%, and you are going to release more damage over time. This is very nice stuff, and the new one apparently is pretty cool too. Even if you're not having the 10% attack increase, you are lowering the damage resistance of the target by 8% and dealing some more damage during the run, so this is another great one to use. And for the back accessory, I'm using the Alien Dimension at the moment for the energy skill regen and the 30% final damage block, very important, and the attack speed increase, so I have more chance to pre-blitz the target. Otherwise, there are other choices to use. This one more time, is a free one, okay? And one of the best to increase your damage. You can get it through a lucky spinner, and I highly recommend you to take it, so you will have way more damage, almost equivalent as the others, okay? Here, this one is a pretty good one too, but better on a tanky build, so you are gonna have more skill regen and final skill damage at the end of the fight. Otherwise, if you want to beat some Plume Monarchs, you can use this one instead, so you are going to deal more damage. And if you are using this one, use the cheetah mount here, it works pretty nicely. It's up to you to do whatever you want. For the Avian, this one is definitely the best one, because every time you're going to use a skill, you're going to release some extra skill damage, and trust me, it does a lot of damage. And it works so well when you have multiple hits on skill like the Petty Trace. You are going to proc that effect all the time with the Petty Trace. Very nice. For the affixes, everything that can increase your skill damage and skill crit damage. So you have Burst Impact for a legendary, plus 32% skill crit damage, but it's not the best. The best one is Talent Skill to increase your skill damage, and then the purple ones to increase your skill crit damage by a bit more. Look at that, 48% instead of 32%, but unfortunately, I can't get a triple purple. You have Inert Gas, you have Multi-Talented, and I never remember about the other one. But you have a third one doing that. Or you can use a yellow one as I am doing at the moment, plus 32% skill crit damage. I know that you have better ones. If I show you, Infinite Dream can be really cool. For 8 seconds, every skill you release is going to boost the damage of your next skill by 6%. Of all active skill by 6%. So if you cast multiple skills, you're going to increase by a ton the damage of your skills. This is a very good one. For the hero cards now, let me go on that section. They are very important. The first one I'm using as the main one is this one. That's a blue one. Every 14 seconds after the start of the fight, targets within the range are taking some extra skill damage per second for 5 seconds. So you release pretty nice damage with that, but it's not going to help for the pre-blitz, okay? But this one is going to help, because as the second one, releasing the main active skill is going to shorten the cooldown of active skills on cooldown by 1 second and increase the final skill damage by 16% for 5 seconds. This is very nice. So you are going to get that directly at the start, so this is very strong. Then I'm using this one, releasing the main active skill, reduces the target's base energy regen by 10% for 5 seconds. It helps for long fights in PvP. Or if you don't have all of these, you can use as main one the Genie of Wishes to increase your attack and defense during the run. That's a very good one. Or you can use this one as main to deal directly some damage at the start of the fight. Or I don't have it, but if you have that SSR, use this one instead. It's doing almost the same as a Zeus. So as main one or second one, you can use it in both cases. It's gonna help you a lot. And for my stats, let me comment that. The stun I have is not enough. Like 63% is not enough. I am aiming for, like, I would love to have 80%. Because people in PvP, especially Monarchs, have a lot of ignore stun. They have more than 20%. And so I have only like, 40% chance to stun them. If I can't stun them on the first hit in battle, I can't pre-blitz. And if I can't pre-blitz, I die. So the more the stun I have, the better. And the only way to upgrade that is through my enchants and the substat. This is why, as I did here, I'm trying to get some stun first. I can have way more stun here through the enchants, but it's gonna take me forever, but I'm working on that. So the stun, most important stat on that build. Then you don't care about the crit damage, combo counter, things like that. You don't care about that. Basic attack, you don't care. Combo, you don't care. The resistances, counter damage resistances can help. The skill damage resistance would be great versus other mages. I need to work on that as well. With the enchants, I will get at least 30% more, but unfortunately I don't have great runes for now, so I will work on that later. The ignore combo and counter is pretty cool too on the talents. Working on that too. The combo damage resistance is important too. And finally, damage resistance, I have known almost like 10%. It's coming from my artifact because I'm not even using the deer. And then skill crits. 86%, very nice amount. So I'm close to the 100 when I'm releasing the star array skill. Skill crit damage at 532% and skill damage at 2773%. So this is what I am running at the moment, and you have my final stats here: 500 billion HP, 6,300 million attack, 1,600 million defense, and 3.9 final attack speed. And Monarchs have generally 4.3%, and this is why it's harder to pre-blitz them. I think that I covered the entire build, and now it's time to try that in PvP, so I'm gonna go directly here and try versus stronger players, as I am always doing. So I have these two guys, they are warriors. I'm gonna try that build directly, but I want to change something before. You know, I'm gonna use that directly, and you are gonna see the efficiency on them. Sometimes I'm switching a bit of stuff so I can release some more damage. Here, this is the goal. I want to release a crazy amount of damage, so I just switched my back accessory. So let's see if it is working or not. So he has more power as me, and if I show you, this is Dino. In fact, he just renamed him. We are doing a movement team on the PvP. You have the Mafia and the Police, and I joined the Police. So look at the tankiness. 1,400 billion HP, this is very high. Almost 2,000 million defense, very high too. And very nice amount of skill damage resistance, 46%. So this is a very tanky build. 47% damage resistance. It's time to try the build. Let's see how does it work. I don't know if I can beat him, but I will release pretty nice damage. First of all, with the pre-blitz, he's almost half HP already. But I don't know if I will have time to cast again the Blitz Assault. I hope I will. Okay, Blitz Assault, second time, so maybe I will have time to release more skills, and look at that, the result was really close. I need to increase my tankiness just a bit, so I will have time to release my skills again during the fight, and the result might be different at the end. So you have another one here, almost the same build, a bit less tanky, but a bit more aggressive, I suppose. So let's see if there is a difference or not. Remember that this is a very tanky build that I have in front, and that with my Plume Monarch I can't do a single shit on that guy in front. So here this is pretty interesting to see the damage I can release with some skills on the target. Not for now, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what happened here. Let me retry. That was weird. Sometimes it is not working. Or maybe in that scenario, I need to increase my energy skill regen and use the Alien Back accessory. I'm gonna retry with the Alien Back right after. So because here I have the same result. Okay, it was almost the same. So let me just change a few things and you are gonna see sometimes, depending on the opponent, you need to change a few things. So this is what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I have any tickets left though, because I did a lot of tries today. Yo, I won't be able to try that. So let's go in the cross-server rank match. I still have a few tickets to buy here, so I want to try some fights. Then I can just watch some replays. Here I lost, that was a defense, but I changed a few things before, so maybe it had an impact. Okay, the power difference is very high here, but maybe this is a Plum Monarch. Let's check. Let's check what happened. No, this is a Warbringer in front. So I was able to one-shot him pre-blitz, but he had way less power, so that's normal. So here, I won the attack and I lost the defense. Pretty interesting. Let's see what happened. Okay, that was a pre-blitz one-shot. Took some damage. With the cheat amount damage, I guess. And let's see what went wrong on my defense. Okay, that wasn't a pre-blitz. I lacked some damage. So he was able to kill me before the end because of that. That's just because I lowered my damage. To increase a bit more my HP here, maybe I have to reset every tankiness I have and put everything into attack. It's gonna be even better. I'm continuing to do my test, but it was pretty nice so far. So let's try to find another player. You have another Mafia guy here. A Warbringer, let's attack him. We have almost the same power. That's a one-shot pre-blitz. Very, very nice. So I was able to destroy him. Let's try to find a Martial Sage, tanky build. Martial Sage, tanky build. Let's see how does it go. And then I'm going to switch my class to Darklord to see if there is a difference. So I wasn't able to pre-blitz him, but he took a crazy amount of damage in one hit. And then I just need to recover my cooldowns and the result is going to be different than before, I mean. I was able to win. So let's just change my class. I'm going to use another mage class, but the Darklord that time. And we are going to try to see the difference. There we go. Finally. Go back in here. So I have the exact same build as before. Okay. So let's try to find another tanky player here. Got one here maybe. No, that's a Warbringer. Here, another Warbringer. Many people are using a Warbringer at the moment in PvP. Look at that. There is another one here. Martial Sage, a tanky build. A bit less tanky than the previous one though. This one. I already attacked him today, right? Yeah, unfortunately. Let's try to find another. This one maybe, come on. No, that's a Warbringer. So let's start with a Warbringer, you know, and then I'm gonna try to find another tanky build. So that was a pre-blitz and that was a one-shot. Of course, I released more damage than before, so that was intense. So, can I find another tanky player here somewhere? Come on, here maybe? Martial Sage. Okay, this is exactly the same build as before, so let's try that. And let's see if I can release more than 60% HP. This is what I did before. That was just a bit better. Just a bit better. And over time... yeah, I got a bit more damage with my skills, with the Darklord. But then I need more time before recovering the cooldowns on my skills. And I can't break the shield, and look at that, I'm struggling to deal damage here. And I could beat him after a few amount of time, but... and there is an issue with the Mage class. An issue is called the Plum Monarch. Because they have more attack speed and it's harder to pre-blitz them, and generally I'm losing. Even if I try versus that guy with a lot of less power than me, you are gonna see if I can't pre-blitz, I'm dead. And in that case, I was able to pre-blitz, so that was very sad. Let's try to find another one. Come on, here, same power. That's a Warbringer. Come on, I clicked on that guy. Yeah, Warbringer. This is just not the right icon here. Martial Sage, not the right icon neither. Here, another Monarch, same power as before, so let's try versus that guy, and let's see. You are gonna see normally I'm dying instantly. And I was able to pre-blitz one more time. What is happening, guys? It wasn't working recently. It never worked when I did my test, and here, 2 times in a row, this is just completely crazy, guys. So I have no tickets left, unfortunately, so I'm gonna try to find some players on who I can try. Directly in the peak rank, maybe, if there is Shiro somewhere. Oh, this is gonna be hard to find Shiro. I suppose that he changed the icon here. So I can't know who is Shiro anymore. This is bad for my test. Let's go here. You have Rudy Redloss. Yeah, but he's not using the right build. Mafia Zero. That's a Prophet. Practice mode. I just want to do some more tests. The problem is I don't know what build they are using in defense here at the moment. In practice mode. Here, Martial Sage. Let's try. He's using the right avian, so maybe he's using the right thing. I don't think so, because there is that avian here. Oh, but he's using that back accessory, the Frost Bite here. Can I release my skills again? Come on, he has the shields again, and as you can see, I'm not able to deal damage through the shield. So this is going to be pretty interesting to try both the classes here. So I'm going to reset again, go back to the Prophet, and I'm going to retry versus the same guy, so you're going to see directly the difference. Come on. Awakening. Back in here. Peak rank. So I say that it was that guy here. Practice. So let's see if I can release more damage with the Prophet. So almost the same at the start, but I could release a bit more with the Darklord. And now I need to recover my cooldowns before dying. Will I? Okay, you have crazy damage in front, and look at that. I was already able to release more damage with the Prophet than with the Darklord. Of course, I can't survive here, but the damage difference was insane. So this is why I'm using the offensive build with the Prophet class. So, can I try versus someone else? Let's see the top 4 here. I don't think I can try versus that guy. Let's try here. That's another Prophet. He's using the pumpkin, but nothing equipped here, so this is probably a wrong build equipped. Maybe this one, Martial Sage. Apparently he have the right things equipped, I guess. So let's try that. And I'm gonna try to find a Monarch after that. So that's a very tanky build in front, or maybe I just missed my pre-blitz. Okay, I have my skills again. Come on, Blitz Assault one more time before I die. Oh, that was close, I wasn't able to. Let's try a second time to see if there is a difference. If I can survive like just one more second, I will have time for the Blitz Assault. I don't think I will survive. Yeah, I died earlier that time, so it wasn't working. Let's try to find a Monarch that time. But remember that during that video, I'm trying versus players stronger than me, so this is normal that I die, but you can see the damage I can release with that class, right? So Martial Sage, no thank you. Here, Martial Sage again. Katran is using a Martial Sage. You have Muscle. This is a Monarch, a very, very offensive build. Oh, this is probably the right build equipped at the moment, so let's try that and see what it does. Yeah, you know, I wasn't able to pre-blitz, so I am dead. I'm gonna retry multiple times just to see if I can land a pre-blitz. And that was a pre-blitz. But on the second hit, so I took some damage before the end, it was super close. If I can have enough damage to one-shot the target directly at the start, I win. But here it wasn't the case, okay? I guess that if I take the Darklord, I will be able to one-shot him. You know, let's waste my red diamonds again and let's retry with the Darklord again, and we are gonna see. Yes, this is a Mage. Spellcaster. Evolve Spellcaster. I want to take the Bishop here. And let's awaken. Back in here. Cross have a ranked match. Peak rank. That was Muscle. There we go again with the Darklord. Let's see if I can release more damage. That wasn't a pre-blitz, so unfortunately no difference. Another try. Not a pre-blitz. And so I die. Another time. It's pretty hard to release a pre-blitz on a target here on the Monarch. Come on. Nope, that wasn't a pre-blitz neither. Retry again. There we go, and that was a one-shot. So normally... Okay, I wasn't able to win that. You know, let's change one skill, and this is going to be my last try. So instead of the Betty Trace, I know that I released a lot of damage, but I want to use the disarm, so just in case the target is going to get disarmed at the start, let's use that just to see. I'm curious, I never tried that, so it's time to try it and just see if I can pre-blitz and if I can survive if I'm using that. Okay, that was a pre-blitz. He is controlled. But no, you have no difference because he is not controlled anymore because of the other things, so it's useless to use that instead of the Betty Trace. So I can use re-equip that. And that was just for the curious people. It's just not working, probably because the Sunshine Bringer reduces by a crazy amount the control duration on the guy in front, on Muscle. He's probably... that avian is probably level... it's not written, yeah, level 120, so debuff immunity here, control duration lowered by 8.5% and no speeding, so it lowers the duration of my skills. Let's retry another time to pre-blitz again. Nah, it didn't work. So this is the hard part of it, the Monarchs. But versus the other guys, it works pretty well. Here, I tried versus the top players, okay? I don't have the same power, so let's retry versus someone else if I can find someone of my power. You have a Warbringer. I don't know if it is the right build equipped, so let's try that. Oh, and I was able to survive that time. Pretty interesting. So guys, that was all for the video. Let me know what you think about that in the comment below. Have a really nice day, and don't forget to tell me what is your favorite class at the moment. I know that many players want me to try the PAL class, but come on, I need some time, guys. I'm working on my warrior build after this one, and after I'm gonna try the PAL class because I have so many things to mention here, and I don't have the right build for my mage at the moment, so I'm lacking some things, and for my warrior build, this is the same, I'm lacking some stats here, and for the PAL class, this is even worse. So guys, I'm gonna try that later. Have a really nice day, take care, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.